Dum, 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 dum,
Space between.
What's going on, everyone? This is the Space Between podcast, where we talk about the space between life and art, passion and business. What's happening now and what's happening next. I'm Pat Shand.
I'm Amy Shand.
How are you doing today?
Good. Every time you say the intro, when you're listing the thing, I want to say between life and death.
Life and death. We are the space between life and death. We were born, we're alive, but...
So we're in that space right now.
You know, every day we get closer to death. Got to start the podcast with
Fair
a
enough.
nice, positive, life-affirming thought, you know? How are you today?
Thank you so much.
How are you today?
I'm okay. I feel like I've been lacking on sleep lately, so I'm going to go to bed early tonight because I have to wake up early tomorrow.
Good.
But I'm here for now. How are you?
I'm okay. I wanted to talk today about how, a couple of things. One central theme of what I want to get to is how I like to be left alone.
Dude, oh my god. Same.
I just answered this question on Twitter about comic conventions and things that, the most important things that we've learned from comic conventions. And one of my important things was that about roughly every 20th person on the convention floor is a random conversation bomb, right? That they'll come to your table, if you're not aware, and just settle down and tick, boom, a conversation that has nothing to do with shit, right? And you'll be stuck being talked at about Transformers, a video game that you've never heard of.
An idea that they have.
Yeah, one
that
of their
is
ideas.
just an idea.
For 30 minutes? And they're not talking to you, right? They're talking at you. Most of these people have
It's like
never...
a monologue.
Oh, absolutely. It's a soliloquy, right? Most of these people never introduce themselves. They're just talking to you. They haven't even looked at your banner to see your fucking name. Okay? They don't know who you are. And it's always so funny sitting next to Amy during this because I deal with it very differently now. But when I first started, I was very cognizant, this could be a customer, so I'm going to be nice to this whole interaction. Guess what I now know? That person is never a customer. That they have no intention of ever buying
It's like
anything
you can
there.
tell
Oh, yeah.
right away what kind of conversation it is, you know?
Now I can for sure, but
Yeah.
in the past, I went in very positive. Oh, I'm going to hear what they have to say, even though it has nothing to fucking do with me, you know? But now when someone starts, I'll just look to Amy, and she'll be sitting there. And for those watching the live stream or the video on YouTube, you'll see. But she's sitting there looking like this. Just fucking death in her eyes. Because she
not
knows
very
that she's
subtle.
stuck there. She's stuck there. And I'm stuck there. But here's what I do now. This person, I wrote in my post about this, that this person has athletic, Olympic proficiency with blocking potential customers. They'll stand perfectly center at your table, broad back, forming a bit of a goalie-esque blockage to your table. So what I do is, even when a customer just glances by, if that person is talking mid-sentence, fucking savagely, I'll be like, oh, hey, can I help you? Over to the person, so they know that this conversation we're having is secondary to what I'm doing. I'm allowing them to be there and talk at me.
Do their soliloquy.
Do it. But just know, when it comes to my fucking money, when it comes to my paper, I'm a paper chaser, okay? And I'm not going to let some random person block me from chasing my paper, right?
Right. Sometimes, not as much because it's not like technically my paper that they're blocking at Starbucks when I'm working.
Yeah.
Because I'm just paying my rent, hourly. But there are people that will, like, I'll ring them up, transaction's over, everything's done, they have a receipt. Everything that I could have said to them, I say, and they just keep talking, and someone's in line behind them, like, waiting to order. And they're just talking about their day or whatever, and I'm just like, okay, how can I help you? Over to the side.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like, move over.
Yeah, because
we're done.
They don't feel the tension coming from the customer behind them, but you do, because you see the customer and they're looking at you, expecting you to end that interaction, right?
Yeah.
And
it's on me because it's behind them,
it's on
and they
you.
don't know or
but
care.
You aren't the person that created that rude awkwardness.
No.
The person who you took the order, and I mean, even like a nice brief exchange is fine.
Right.
But someone who sticks around for a story when there's a customer behind you, that person has left you with rudeness.
Yeah.
They've created that situation, and they left it for you to fucking clean up.
Right. And in the drive-thru, it's kind of the same too, talking at the window when you have an order to take. But sometimes, like, there's one customer. She's so awesome. Her name is Judy. And we both drive Chevrolets. And I've only done this for her. In drive-thru at Starbucks. When I'm talking to her at the window, it says ding. And I can usually just cut my customer off and say, how can I help you, to the next customer? I'll say, be right with you. And I'll finish my conversation with Judy about her foot reflexology, because that's important to me.
Yeah.
But just like a rando,
No, I mean, if you have a rapport, that's
right.
fine. But if you're shouldering someone with conversation rather than having a conversation with them, that's a different thing. Right? And, I mean, that happens at conventions a lot. But what I've noticed, and you're a more social person than I am. Mm-hmm. You are generally more willing to have a conversation that isn't relevant to you than I am, I find. Because your interests are wide, they vary. Usually, when I go outside of my zone, right? Like at a convention where there are 4 comics, so conversation happens more naturally. But when I'm just out in the street, my idea is I'm going to go out, interact with no one.
Yeah, you're like on a mission.
And come back, And recently I've been playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
And I used to just play Pokemon Go very casually, but now I kind of do it for fun.
And that's kind of hard to play solo, though. They got you there because
people see you.
You have friends on there now, which if you didn't have to, no offense anyone who's his friend, but like the reason he started using the social parts of Pokemon Go is to gain more points, because that's how you get more stuff and you can do more things.
Right.
Is by being social, not only with people but like when you go out in public.
That's what it is for me, because like I don't mind the exchanging of gifts, of gifts between digital friends, because it's kind of like social media. Yeah. On Pokemon Go, you can give them a gift. He's not
like just going around like giving people.
No. On Pokemon Go, you can give a friend a gift, and it'll help them out, and you can just exchange gifts as friends. Because when you go to a Pokestop and you spin that bitch,
he's on it.
It'll give you a gift that you can then bestow upon a friend. Now, if you could open that gift up and use it for yourself, do you think your boy would ever give a gift? No. I would open that shit up and use it for myself.
He's there for him,
I play that game for me, okay?
Ultimately.
I don't play the game for fucking charity. I'm
trying to catch them all.
For Pat Shan. But listen, the funniest shit is I'll go to a mall, right? And while shopping, or while I go to the food court to the right, I'll break and I'll play Pokemon Go if there's like a raid battle happening. And a raid battle, pretty much, for those who don't play, the very basic is that certain locations, like a Starbucks, for example, is a gym. And every day in one of these gyms, a raid boss pops up, and it's this big, powerful Pokemon that you go there and you battle, usually with multiple people, to beat this raid boss. Now, the one difference with me and the other players of Pokemon Go is that I'm a fucking lone gunslinger. I go to the raids to raid. Me. Not fucking Team Red. It's your boy. Okay, I go there and I see the boss. I see if anyone else is playing, and if other people are playing, I don't ask them what team they're on. I don't team up. I go there and I fucking raid.
He's like the lone knight on the battlefield. That's like, come at me.
I'm not here to join up with you to take this Pokemon down. I'm here to take him down and capture him for me, right? So there's this one day where my fucking worst nightmare happened. I was at the mall and I had just bought a new MacBook Pro because mine had broken, and I was excited but kind of like pissed off that I had to spend all this money.
So his computer breaking was not his worst nightmare.
Oh no, this next part's the worst nightmare. Yeah,
the Pokemon is the worst nightmare.
So I was ready to release, and I saw this fucking juicy raid happening at Starbucks. So I walk a few paces, I set up right where it's not by the Starbucks entrance, so people aren't walking past me. I'm a bit off to the side alone, and I'm battling. I'm fucking this raid boss up. There's someone else battling in the distance on a different team, but let's be real. I'm doing the fucking damage. As I'm about to beat this Pokemon, a guy comes up to me, and just from his face and from his gear, I knew he was playing Pokemon.
From his gear.
I knew it. He looked like fucking Ash.
Do you think people know you're playing Pokemon?
I actually don't know. Probably when I'm like fucking spinning the ball,
when you're doing the spin curve,
but I'm just doing like this. I could be doing anything, you know.
Because you don't have like a double screen like the hardcore people.
Oh no, yeah. Some people at the mall walk around with a fucking iPad with Pokemon Go on it, and then a smaller phone on the iPad with a second Pokemon Go game on it.
How?
And they're 40. But so I'm beating this raid boss, and this guy comes up to me and he goes, "Oh, are you playing?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like, I didn't even look at this motherfucker.
He's busy.
That should have been the end, because I didn't look up. We didn't have a little interaction.
You didn't say, "Yeah, why?"
Exactly. And he goes, he said, "Oh man, I wish you waited for me." Like, I fucking know you? Do you know what I said? I said, "I don't." And he said, "So you're just going to do it alone?" And I said, "Yeah."
Oh my God.
And then as I said, "Yeah," I did it alone. I finished. He didn't get to play in the raid.
You didn't need him.
That gym, after I was gone, the raid was done.
Oh
it was done. And he expected a stranger to just like chill until more Pokemon Go players came in. Am I in a fucking club?
You should have waited for me.
Come on. Yeah, he said I wish.
That was personal.
He said, "I wish you waited."
He wishes he would.
And I said, "I don't wish that." You know?
Yeah, because now I'm here alone, and that's what I want. It's like.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you've like made friends out in the wild.
Yeah, mostly work, but yeah.
Yeah, like, I do wonder how you would have handled that situation. Like, if that had happened to you, would you have been more excited? Like, for example, when you were doing your audition for The Voice in the city, I saw, I passed a raid, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to go in." I saw a group of people, a fucking circle of people facing each other playing Pokemon.
A raid mosh, if you will.
Yeah, so check this out. The circle's here. For those who are seeing the video, I'm here against the wall, playing alone, and I won the raid. Okay? I didn't want to join their circle. Like, "Hey guys, you know, like, I'm not here to be a fucking nerd. You know, I'm here to be like."
You just are one.
I just am one. Okay, I'm here to play. I'm here to play a game alone. But I do wonder. You and I are different in that way. So if you had seen that and it was a game that you like, would you have tried to join that circle, or would you have been the fucking silent killer off to the side? That one?
Yeah, I wouldn't try to join the circle at this point in my life.
But in the past, you would have, you think?
Audition, yeah, because I've auditioned for The Voice and American Idol before, and I used to like love and like seek out those groups and those circles of people.
Yeah.
And this time, no. And I even like
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, and I even shut down this one girl who tried to start a conversation with me. She was super nice, and nothing was wrong with her. Besides, I didn't know her, and I didn't want to know her.
No.
You know? It's like, what am I going to do? Call you later? No?
I mean, to some people, yeah.
So...
It's like, are we at summer camp, you know? Like, is this Bug Juice?
Yeah.
Do you remember that show?
Bug Juice? I do remember the name.
Oh, man. If anyone who's watching has seen Bug Juice, please comment. It's that Disney camp show. Steve Liepman says, he says, I've seen Patch moves like a pro. Yeah, I mean,
Definitely.
At conventions, gotta do it sometimes, and I do appreciate a relevant conversation.
Yeah, like you have pitches and you sell the stuff at your table.
Oh, definitely. And Steve goes, but you are a Blanche, you are. Is that a Golden Girls reference? I only think Golden Girls because Blanche is a name that you only have if you're 95. Like, anyone under 95 whose name Blanche is lying, for sure, right?
It's gotta be. It's a very classic name.
It's definitely a very
It's like
classic
a vintage name.
Yeah, like, Blanche and, like, Goldie, you know, are, like, the oldest things.
Goldie
like,
Hawn is, like, such a classic name.
Goldie Hawn has to be 106 right now, right?
Yeah.
But it made me think back to
Whose mom is she?
Goldie Hawn. She's someone's mom who's famous. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
The only I think that I'm right about this. The only famous person that I know who has a famous mom is Lenny Kravitz. I think one of his parents was on the Jeffersons.
Angelina Jolie's dad is famous too.
Yeah.
He was in. I always do this. It's such a random, not famous movie, and he's in so many other movies. But he was in Holes.
Oh my God, Amy loves Holes. That's so fucking funny. This though, all this thinking about like interactions that I don't want to have, and just like wanting to be left alone while also engaging in something in public, right? It reminded me back in the day, I used to read so much in class, you know, like I had a few friends growing up, and I made a lot more friends and was more social when I stopped doing this in high school. But from like 3rd grade all the way to 7th grade, I would, as soon as I finished my work, I always had a book in my desk, and I'll pop it out. And I remember so vividly, there was one time I was reading this novel about R.L. Stine. It was one of the sequels to his The Babysitter horror novels. And The Babysitter was for young adults, so it was a bit older than his Goosebumps stuff.
Okay.
And I remember I was so into reading the book, so into it more than anything I've ever experienced, that when the teacher was trying to get my attention, Miss Worrell, 5th grade, right? I remember physically like feeling myself disconnect from the book, and I was like, what?
Wow.
And that was such a good feeling to be so wrapped up in the book, and I didn't feel alone, you know? And I think that is a sign of true introversion. Like here is enough for me.
Yeah.
You know? And I do feel partnership and camaraderie with some people very, very closely, but like I am content with my thoughts, you know? And it got me thinking, like, I do miss reading a lot. Like, I used to read a lot more, and now that I write for a living and produce so much stuff that I have to then like proofread and copy edit, I do feel that most of the stuff that I read is either stuff by my peers or my stuff. And I miss reading so much, you know?
Yeah, especially when it comes to fiction and like fantasy and stuff like that. It's so different than the real world. It's really fun to get lost and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I totally remember being younger and having time to read.
Yeah.
And like I remember I was super into the book The Secret Garden.
Oh, yeah?
And I love
nice.
that book, and I read it over and over again. That was the first time I figured out that I was car sick, because we were on our way to Idlewild, and I was trying to read the book for like the 3rd time, and I really wanted to read it, so I kept reading in the car, and I kept feeling sick, so I had to pause, and I have to keep going.
Oh my God, that's so fun though.
Yeah, that was such a good one to me. And then when the movie came, like when I saw that it was a movie, I was super excited. And then I also read the Nancy Drew series, which was fiction, and that's like probably my first introduction to like quote unquote like true crime because she was solving crime, you know, and it was the yellow hardback books, remember?
Of course.
With like the circular back, not even like a square back really.
Turtle bound.
Yeah, turtle bound.
Yeah.
Totally. So I miss that too. I feel like once you get older and you just work so much and stuff, it gets so hard to be able to get lost in a book like that. But different than you, I am not okay in my own thoughts. Like, I can't even stand at the register at Starbucks for 20 minutes and someone doesn't like on the floor like acknowledge me or say something to me, and they're like talking to each other on the headsets. I'm starting to get starting to get pissed and offended that like that no one's talking to me. Like, I feel easily very disconnected and like not very good at being alone, like in general.
Yes.
So that's why I'm more social than you, and I tend to like reach out to people and like have all these little like friends everywhere, you know, because like I can never be anywhere and feel like, wow, I have no one to talk to right now. Like, this is I don't like my own thoughts, I guess. Like,
no, I mean,
or I just get bored so fast. You know what I mean?
You do get bored so fast, and like that's one thing that I talk about. Like, Wesley's here. Come on, bud. Here you go.
Oh, Kate Hudson and Oliver Hudson is Goldie Hawn's kids. Thank you.
I don't even know
Steven.
who Oliver Hudson is.
I don't know Oliver Hudson, but I do know Kate Hudson, and that's who I was thinking of.
Kate Hudson is like in rom-coms, right?
Yeah, she's like a blonde.
What was I gonna say?
Yeah, and the Hardy Boys.
Like you prefer like things that happen externally, right? Like you when you describe a good day at work, you say it was busy all day, and those were the days I hated.
And even like when like it's hard I can't, you know, like if I have things to do around the house, I so often, especially if like for whatever reason like you're not home, which is rare, or like even if you're working in the living room, sometimes, you know, I'll text or call Cassie or something to come over while I'm folding clothes or come over while I clean my rat cages, because like having people around gives me more energy for some reason.
Right.
People that I like and like me, so I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's like the empath part of me that I like vibe off of people's energy because it gives me energy or something. But like I'm more likely to do things and like go run errands and stuff with someone else than by myself for sure.
Yeah, I think because like in so many ways you and I are very similar, but that's probably the biggest difference. Because
like we'll joke about being antisocial and stuff, but that's like when I met you, you were nothing but talkative, smart, funny. Like, you know, I never thought like, oh, he's antisocial or he's like quiet or anything like that.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Because like we just had a connection. And
definitely.
You know, so like I'm first was one of the people that you got along with and was your friend, and then, you know.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. That's and I don't mean to like just a preface. I'm not gonna say that one way is better, but for me, like, I need to feel a genuine connection with someone before I want to take our relationship beyond I see you at work.
Yeah.
Whereas you like to find out, right? Like, you'll hang out with anyone who like seems to be interesting to you.
Yeah.
And you don't mind finding out along the way. Like, you can have someone who's a friend of yours who you don't even get along with so much at work because you don't have like similar work ethics. You don't mind being that person's friend. Like, to me, I have to conquer. I can work with you first. Like, the area I meet you in first, we have to be good there before you can ever see my house.
But like,
you know?
even with you, when I first worked with you, I was like rude to you. It's just because I know so strongly that me at work is such a different person than me at home.
Yeah.
That I have faith in my coworkers that they're probably like the things that I like about them at work. It's like that plus not work.
That's true. That's interesting.
Like, I feel like, okay, if we hang out outside of work, it helps me because too, when we go back to work with the connection and everything that we had as friends outside of work.
Yeah.
And like me being able to see, just like they can see that, like, because I freak the fuck out at work all the time. Like, I freaked out twice today at work.
Yeah.
In the beginning and the end of the day. And, like, it's just because I'm stressed out at work. And, like, and I like things a certain way, and I'm very particular, you know. And it's true. It's like just a difference in the way people work. And I know that people are different outside of work, doing what they like to do, you know, maybe having a drink or something, or meeting the cats, you know. So
that's interesting. Like you do try to be work Amy. Mm-hmm. Wes, hold on. He's going for the microphone now.
He's got something to say.
I tried to be like work Pat when I was a shift manager, a swing manager at McDonald's. Mm-hmm. But then I started cursing, you know? And then I tried to be work Pat when I was a professor teaching college, and that definitely didn't work.
Yeah.
Like, I realized, like, maybe part of the reason why I can only really succeed in working with myself in writing is that I can't do that. Like, Amy McGinnis is definitely, like, our friend Amy, who is a barista who we met in San Diego, who now works as a nurse, and she's awesome. She can be work Amy, but she also does. She is very protective of her work environment, so she definitely does kind of put the smack down on people in a very similar way to you. But I guess that's why, like, I've accepted that I won't have those bullshit conversations, I guess, because I can't be work me anymore. Like, I even tried at conventions. Like, I tried to, like, not get mad when people were, like, leaning on the table. I tried to, like, be diplomatic, but I don't have it in me, you know?
Mm-hmm. It's hard to not just be 100% yourself, you know?
Steve Leitman comments, this must be about Oliver Hudson. He starred in Rules of Engagement and On Nashville. Never heard of those.
Okay, I've heard of the show Nashville.
Hey Wes, you love me or something?
He does.
He smells good right now because I cleaned his ears today. You smell him?
Ooh, that does smell good.
It
Wesley
does.
got the full treatment today.
Yeah, he did. All right, so, one other thing that I've started to do, I've done this on Twitter when I feel a conversation going nowhere, and in the past I would have been scared to sound rude, but I've started saying when someone is responding to me but isn't connecting to what I'm saying, I started to say, I'm good on this conversation. I'm good on this conversation, you know?
I'm all set.
Yeah, like, I'm not going to continue. I'm good here. Mm-hmm. That happened when I posted a tweet about, and it was a joke. And when people get annoyed or, like, try to parse a joke, I'm like, what are you doing? But I get their misunderstanding. But when I explained it and it got to be that they were still asking questions, I had to say, I'm good on this conversation. The joke was about the rapper Tory Lanez. He was going on a Twitter rant about how he's the best rapper right now. No one's fucking with him, right? And I tweeted something to the effect of, every rapper and every artist should feel that they're the best out. But anyone who puts Tory Lanez on their top 100 is crazy, you know?
That's funny to me.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
They took issue with the part where every artist should feel that they're the best out. They were like, you think that you're the best, so you should shit on your peers? And I was like, first of all, taking that tweet to the far extreme. You're taking it to the extreme, right? Two...
And you're picking it apart. Like,
absolutely.
The beginning of it is like, you know, the setup for the joke.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like, that was my setup. Now, here's the other thing. I'm right. I believe that. That's the setup. But to me, my theory is this. If you are a creator, the truth that no one talks about what you're asking people to do, is to give you money for your thoughts. Mm-hmm. If you don't think that your thoughts are worth money and that you should be working toward being the best content creator, then what are you doing? Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. Like, when I put out Snap Flash Hustle #1, would I be happy if that was the 10th best book to come out that day? No. Who would be? Right? And I think that there's this sort of fake humble thing going on in comics where writers will post things like, oh, my comic's coming out, it has beautiful art by so-and-so, the best colors by so-and-so, and on the negative side, you have some shitty writing by this trash bag, you know? And it's just like, you're saying that to like be fake humble. You don't really believe that. Because if you did believe that, you wouldn't have pitched for the story. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't be involved if you didn't believe in yourself. So my solution is the opposite, the ultimate.
It's not bad to believe in yourself.
No. And people do say that it's arrogant to think that you're the best. But my thing is this. I would rather... It's all about nuance. I'm not saying that... in that tweet, I never said, I think I'm the best. I said, every artist should think that they are. Mm-hmm. Right? And it makes me think back to Lil Wayne. That there was a time in 2005 where no one was talking about Lil Wayne in the conversation of best rapper. Until Lil Wayne started to say, I'm the best rapper alive, and then that was the conversation. J. Cole just said that he's the best doing it right now, and now that's the conversation. When you put that out into the world, people start to look at you in a different way. When you take yourself seriously to a fault, people will say, well, he thinks highly of himself. She thinks highly of herself.
Let me investigate that.
Exactly. And that's what is wrong with the way that people promote themselves these days. If you're selling your own thought, don't shit on your thought. I would rather hear someone over-explain how awesome they are than undercut themselves, because at least one is honest.
Yeah, like that Jazzercise guy. He's super proud of those.
Explain a bit about what that is.
Well, if you look back on our channel, we reacted to it or no?
No, that wasn't. No, that was in the Chris D'Elia podcast. But
didn't we watch it, or was that a weird Kickstarter that was kind of similar?
We watched the Kickstarter video for the fragrance guy, Jeremy Fragrance.
I'm going off rail here, but yes, okay, I recall. But so anyway, quickly, there's a guy, and he created an exercise mechanism for your mouth, specifically your jaw. It's like it's like a mouth guard, like a night mouth guard thing that you mold to your mouth, and then you use it and you go like that. If you can see the video, you can see the video. And it exercises your mouth. And when so we were listening to the Chris D'Elia podcast, I was confused. And he was like watching it, and then we went to watch it. And this guy created it, and he's proud of himself. So I was just throwing it back to him.
Definitely.
His jaw looks great.
Oh man, it's cut.
I think actually he was like in an accident.
Yeah, he was in an accident.
So good on him.
And it was like a rehabilitative thing.
Exactly, but now he's like, wow.
Is that a word, rehabilitative? Or is it rehabilitative?
Rehabilitative, I think.
Whichever one that's right is the one I said.
He's an English major.
But speaking of reacting to things, I want to introduce our Kickstarter of the week.
Oh.
And just for everyone listening, next week, my next Kickstarter campaign goes live.
I need this.
Destiny New York Volume 3.
Ooh, yeah.
Is launching next week. Our next podcast will go live as that launches.
Awesome.
So, it's going to be a big one.
It's going to be a party. I'll bring champagne.
For now, though, the Kickstarter of the week this week is a game called...
A board game. A card game.
Yes. It's called Too Many Poops. A neat game about cats. They said neat.
A neat. It's so neat.
The description is, become the ultimate cat owner, or poop out trying, in this light, fast, and highly interactive 2 to 6 player set collection card game.
Oh my goodness.
Alright, so let's play the video.
Okay. Look at that cat on the front, so cute. That looks like Neil.
Ooh, neat.
Is that the company?
Poops is a set
I think so.
Game where players are adding cats to their homes in order to become the ultimate cat owner.
That's us.
Cats of the same litter or color group score you additional points. When you have more than 10 points of cats in your home, the game is won. The problem is, the more cats you have, the more poop you'll need to remove.
Definitely.
That's a fact.
If you accumulate more than 10 poops in your litter box, you will poop out and be removed from gameplay.
Those mini poops. I love miniature things.
Other players can make a mess of your home, like luring a cat out of it.
Wow.
Fuck that person.
I would kill that person.
Ooh, no.
That's Neil.
Those are all Neil. No, that one is. So you're obviously getting it,
Let me tell you something.
and we're playing it on the vlog.
That game sounds awesome.
That looks like the best game ever. Too many poops. And I was thinking, like, why'd they call it that? And then I know why.
What could be hard for me, though, is if someone does the thing where they lure a cat out of my home while playing, I might take it too fucking seriously.
It might get physical.
It might trigger me.
It's a 2 to 6 player game, so we'll invite some people over to play, maybe.
Or we can play two.
with 2. That's what I'm saying. It's 2 to 6.
That wraps it all up. She's like, let's bring some friends over. I'm like, I'm good.
That is a visual and audio description
There
of
we go.
what we were talking about earlier.
And you know what? I think it's perfect to end that here. You know?
I said we could have 6. He said we could have 2.
Yeah, we can just have the 2. This is the Kickstarter of the week. And
That looks great. That was such a good idea.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
They're 724% funded.
Yeah, their goal was $5,000.
They are golden.
They've made $36,221.
I'm stoked.
And there's 21 days left. I can see this campaign getting to be 100,000.
I want to make the cats out of clay.
I think that backers who have supported our stuff should check this out. This is a pretty cool one.
Yo.
And yeah.
I'm going to review it on my toy channel.
Anything else that you want to wrap up, talk about before we finish up?
I don't think so.
Cool.
Thank you.
We don't do outros anymore because we keep it raw. So thank you for watching, and that's the end of the podcast.
Thanks for joining us, you guys, and thanks for being here live too.
Absolutely.
Space between.